Ghana's Black Stars have been waiting to shine. Perhaps the most exciting side in Africa make their entrance onto the world stage tonight. Hello and welcome from the African Nations Cup Day 4. Zambia. We're set to get underway in the first half. Straight away to your match commentator, John Hill.
Thank you very much, Phil. A colourful occasion in many ways, this one. Ghana's appearance for the first time in this African Nations Cup, and they are the side in the yellow shirts and the black shorts. Zambia playing in the all-white strip, and Zambian football so lifted by that result against Egypt on Monday evening, when a goal by that man who's just been brought down, Kalusha, gave them a famous success over the Pharaohs. And here is the Zambian lineup, which does show a couple of changes. Despite their victory, Watayakini at 3 has been introduced to the lineup. And there's a start too for Mbasala wearing number 9. He it was who created the goal for Kalusha Bwalaya, number 11. He's listed there as Bwalaya, but he's actually known, especially in Holland where he plays his football with PSV Eindhoven, as Kalusha. And I think we'll see plenty of him. Here is the Ghanaian lineup then. Our first look at them, but some famous names indeed, with Nai Lamptey wearing number 8, very much the young star of world football, said to be the next Diego Maradona. Abedi Pele, we've seen plenty of him playing for Marseille, of course, he wears number 10. And Yeboah at number 9 is one of the top scorers in German football with Eintracht Frankfurt. So, good pedigree for a lot of these players. And we'll be looking for one of the more skillful matches, I imagine, here. And away goes Mwitma. Timothy Mwitma, who had a good game in the first match against Egypt. In fact, nobody let the coach down. He was highly delighted with Sam Endlov. So Ziguinchor, the pearl of the Casamance River, down in the south of Senegal, witnessing this game, and there was such excitement about matches being awarded to this city. The pitch is not all it might be. Doesn't appear quite as bumpy as it did the other night at the moment, but we shall see throughout the remainder of the 90 minutes. The ball laid forward by Chomba, the sweeper for Zambia. He actually started in a role just in front of the back four against Egypt, but has now chosen a sweeping route, and that's a sign of nerves, I fancy, on the part of goalkeeper Ansah. That could have been highly embarrassing. Throw in for Zambia. Taken on that far side by Soko. And then whacked into the middle, and here is Kalusha. Not one of his better efforts, but a player we'll see a lot of. He's a former African Footballer of the Year, and this was the embarrassing moment for goalkeeper Edward Ansah, who has, whoops, there he goes. That was could have been a what happened next, if there'd been anybody close. Ansah's got over that. He's only just returned to Ghana after playing his club football in Nigeria for a long time. It's well inside the Zambian half. And the first chance we've got to see Pele. Laid back for Appiah. Again, you saw the ball bouncing very awkwardly, and it didn't really give Yeboah much of a chance. There's Yeboah, and here is the way Zambia have reached the finals, convincingly defeating Swaziland by 5-0, but then embarrassingly beaten by the same country when they went to Swaziland and lost 2-1. And that put some consternation into the camp, but they eventually came through with those 2 victories over Angola. The Ghanaians haven't had the best of fortunes in recent years. They have won this competition more than any other country, so generally expected to do well. And look at that for a defensive record. In 7 of those matches there, they didn't concede a goal, or rather six of the 7 games. They never played a second match against Benin, but the only goals they conceded were to Burkina Faso, the old Upper Volta, and they beat the old rivals Nigeria by 1-0 and drew with them 0-0. So Ghana won this competition 4 times, but it's their first appearance in the finals since 1984, so they've been notable absentees. Ghana were the winners in 1963, 1965, 1978 and 1982. And you would have thought they would have started as the favourites, but Zambian football has come on so much in recent times, with one of their club's power dynamos winning the equivalent of the Cup Winners' Cup in Africa, that the Zambians are very, very confident of doing well here in Senegal. The little flick through, and again the goalkeeper Ansar seeming a trifle uncertain. Not quite sure what happened there, but the ball certainly bounced up alarmingly. Alarming for him, maybe. 0-0 it is. Here in Ziguinchor, the ball swept out to this man Appiah, Manuel Appiah, who plays for Ashanti Kotoko. Now Kalusha. Highly skillful player, Kalusha. He it was who got a hat-trick against the Italians in Seoul in 1988 in the Olympic Games. It was Pelé. Here he is now on the ball. He'll be a marked man, that's for sure. Ghana winning the ball back, and getting across for it was Yeboah, and he wins the free kick awarded by the referee from Morocco, Mr. Nassiri. And here we see how Yeboah got that free kick, conceded by Molenga. Heston Molenga from the Ankara Red Devils club. And he was a bit overzealous, really. But it gives the Ghanaians an opportunity. Their president and Nkrumah, great patron of the game. And here is that free kick, which flew off the top of a Zambian head and will produce the game's first corner. And Abedi Pelé, he of the smallest ponytail in football, I would think, goes across to orchestrate things. Taken already, but I think not to the referee's liking. So we'll have to have a take 2. Ghana with a lot of players up there. Look at the number of yellow shirts around the penalty box. As this corner is hit long towards the back post. Oh, it appeals for a handball. And the referee has certainly blown the whistle, but not in Ghana's favour. The player who came up was Anthony Baffo, who's another who plays in Germany with Fortuna Düsseldorf. Well, there were appeals for handball. It's so difficult with this ball bouncing around. The referee might have given it either way then. He opted for the free kick for the defending side. Zambians have never won the African Nations Cup, unlike Ghana, who, as I say, have won it 4 times. Not since 1982. They are on the attack at the moment. And that's probably going to be the pattern of the game. Manso firing it out wide right. Again, it's one for Yeboah to chase. Goal kick. Again, I think this surface is going to pose one of the problems. There's Chabala, David Chabala, the Zambian goalkeeper, who has opted to go and play football in Argentina. He's currently in the second team of Argentinos Juniors, and here he gets involved. And yes, that ball did cross the dead ball line. This time he throws out to John Soko, one of those Power Dynamos players who played in all 6 qualifying games. This is Chomba. Highly impressive against Egypt, and he's played a good ball forward here as well. And problems for the defender against the attacking Basila. Basila came on as a substitute and made the winning goal against Egypt for Kalusha. 5 is Ankara, Darko Ankara. matter where you play your football, you've still got to be 10 yards away. So this curling cross for Zambia. Oh, and it fell just awkwardly, but still the chance is here, and it's away from Chomba shot and crosses the line for a corner kick. But Samuel Chomba there found the ball bouncing awkwardly, still got the shot in, and it was cleared off the line. So the first moment of drama here in Ziguinchor, and Zambia have a corner. They can make nothing of it. Well, let's have a look at that, and it was some brave defending, not quite at that speed, but it was brave defending nonetheless. Our pictures coming to you direct and live from Senegal. The first time we've had the pleasure of watching the African Nations Cup here on Screen Sport. The Zambia build, and when they do, they can be very, very quick indeed. That was Makinka's ball through. Derby Makinka, here he is again, number 6. Good on the ball. Scores plenty of goals as well. Soko loops it in. And you see again the bouncing ball. They're not quite sure just where it's going to bounce, and that's where there could be a handball. Free kick is awarded against Ghana now, and against number 8, Nish Lampete. Crosses from Mawitma, headed away quickly by Watayakini. Well, this was the shot again from Chomba, who just checked, held it, the goalkeeper had come, and it was flicked off the line. Not quite sure whether it would have gone in. Well, you do apologise for the occasional picture breakup that we have here. The picture's obviously coming quite a long way from Africa. So it's still 0-0 between Ghana and Zambia. Zambia have 2 points in Group D, known as the Zone of Death. It's seen as such an imperative group, this one. 3 of the toughest teams of all here, Ghana, Zambia and Egypt. Zambia have already scored a notable victory over Egypt. They have 2 points. Ghana making their debuts in the 91 African Nations Cup in this match. Interesting to see how they perform. A lot expected of them at home. That header's not going to do much damage. But back in Accra, they think so much of their young footballers, having won the World Youth Cup for under-17s in Italy last year, that they are expecting this team to equal that feat. Here is Pelé. Not quite like the old Pelé, maybe. Wears the same number 10 jersey, though. And here he is now, getting into a good position. Excellent play. Pelé, oh, that could have been a tremendous goal, because he'd started it, he carried it on through the midfield, and his was the final effort, but it had no sting about it. And goalkeeper David Elford Chabala is able to clear. Him winning the throw-in, but he seemed to have got so far and then just obviously couldn't get any power. It was an awkward position for him to try and head the ball anyway, but they are still up there. Zambia looking to hit on the break at the moment, and Kalusha allowing that one to go out of play. That means his defence will have to soak up some more pressure as the throw-in is taken by Appiah. Good turn. This is Ibrahim. Plays for Stade. Moroccan referee sharply in to have words with Ali Ibrahim, who plays in the city of Bochum. Ball rather clattered upfield, but again you see it bounced very awkward, and Kalusha trying to get on the outside of the defender Bafo. They come through the midfield with Lamptey. Oh, that's a nice touch. Lovely touch from Ibrahim, who will get it back here as well. And the Ghanaians showing their quality, and Ibrahim whacks in the shot. It had swerve on it, but it didn't swerve sufficiently to fool Chabala. But nonetheless, Ali Ibrahim had the confidence to have a go. And that's good to see. Awkward, swirling shot. He would have had to have swirled a long way to beat Chabala. Ghana 0, Zambia 0. And Zambia's turn. Oh, a lovely break, and that's a superb effort, it really was. I think it was Makinka, Darby Makinka, who got through. I know it's Makinka here now, in fact. So we'll see again in a moment who it was who made the break. But certainly a good effort by Makinka. And now at the other end, the breakout is led by Bafo. Lovely piece of skill from Zambia to get their man through. And Ibrahim has taken a knock in the process. Ghanaians perhaps needing a little bit of a breather, though. They could have been a goal down. Here it is, the breakthrough. Tremendous break it was as well. It was in fact Chomba, the sweeper. He did so well, having come from very deep, a penetrating run. And Ghana will reflect that they're perhaps a trifle fortunate not to have gone behind. Quarter of an hour gone. It's Ghana 0, Zambia 0. Both sides looking very lively at the moment, that's for sure. Yeboah is the man on the ball. Which way is he going to go? Is he going to leave it? Thanks to keep the momentum going with Ibrahim. Pele. Lovely to watch when he's on the ball, but the final cross will have disappointed him as much as it did us. This game being played in the Stade Aline Sitoe Diatta, opened only in 1986 by President Diouf. It's a very new pitch which was only recently laid. But Ziguinchor, certainly an exotic location for the African Nations Cup. Senegal themselves off to a poor start when they were beaten by Nigeria in their first match. Here tonight we concentrate on Group D with Ghana, the Black Stars, and Zambia, the KK11, named after Kenneth Kaunda. They have the ball. Interesting game. Makinka on the ball, finding Kalusha. Laid forward by Changwe. Trying to turn away from trouble there. Was Changwe a second time. And the German coach of the Ghanaian side, Otto Pfister, led them to the under-17 success. Hoping obviously for great things. He actually took over from another German coach, but Otto Pfister will become a national celebrity if they go on to win this tournament, as their president believes they should. Mr. Nkrumah has said that is what we're in the business of doing, going out and winning the African Nations Cup. He actually formed the national footballing team in Ghana just with that express purpose in mind, winning the African Nations Cup. Pele. Solid challenge indeed on Yeboah by Eston Molinga, another who plays for the Red Devils. Some lovely exotic names of clubs in these two countries. Nil-nil it is. Kalusha. That's a piercing ball up the middle, but cut out well by Appiah. Then, rather overdoing it, Manso to finally turn back, and Bafo knocks it out wide. Interesting the way the two sides are playing, though. They're looking for the quick counter thrust, both of them really. They've got, both of them, a lot of pace. Oh, what a mistake there by the defender. Allowing Yeboah to get in, and also Ibrahim just to get in behind him. And that could have been a rather fatal mistake. Chabala unhappy as he throws the ball away for the corner kick to have been taken. But really, he should never have got there in the first place, Ibrahim. Nonetheless, it's Ghana's corner. And Chabala on his line. Doesn't look to be moving about much, but as the corner is taken, it is deep. And flicked away from trouble by Makwazi. progress down the right, made by Makinka. Forward from Mawitma. Here's Makinka again. Darby Makinka featured in this move already 3 times. Easily robbed by Lamptey. And we've not seen much of Lamptey in an attacking guise yet. The young star from Anderlecht, who has already had that millstone put round his neck of being dubbed the next Maradona. Here he is now. Nice little pass out wide right. They have a further man coming up in support, and it'll be a free kick for Ghana for the high kick by Samuel Chomba, who plays for the Kabwe Warriors. Ghana willing to thrust plenty of people forward here. And anxiously on the bench, the substitutes wondering whether they'll get a taste of the action in this African Nations Cup. The Ghanaians tonight, interesting selections actually on the substitutes bench. They've got Prince Polly Opoku, which is nothing to do with his birthright or his nobility, simply the name that his parents chose for him, Prince, and why not? We also have Samuel Nyapuko on the bench. And Zambia looking to come and hit on the break. Oh, and the defender, well, it worked out right in the end, but Malenga was taking a bit of a chance there. The ball ricocheted straight into the hands of goalkeeper Hansen. Ansar's clearance. He seems to have regained his composure from a rather shaky start, but he's now got to have to face up once more to the Zambian attack led by Mbasila. This is Makinka through, looking for Mbasila again. Makinka taking it on the chest. They do love to stroke the ball around. They almost caress it at times. Such is the nature of their play. Play with a great passion, but also a lovely touch. Now it's Soko, and a good swirling ball in, and almost produced a header from Kalusha. There were 2 defenders around him. They know he's a marked man, and away came Kalusha's boot in the process. Zambians on the attack then. They've won 28 of their 58 ties in the African Nations Cup finals, which is not a bad record at all. I'll tell you about Ghana's in a moment, but for the moment it's Zambia with a chance, and once again goalkeeper Ansar not entirely certain in his handling. Ghana's particular record in this competition is that they've won exactly half of their 62 ties, 31 victories. And this was the moment when Ansar got his hands on the ball and then had it knocked away from him by the incoming Mawitma. Just kept in play by Ankara. Very few shots on goal, although the football at times has been of a good quality. There's not been a lot of devilment in and around the penalty boxes. And here is Lamptey. I think the crowd expecting so much of this young player, who finished 4th in the African Footballer of the Year contest, which was actually won by Abidi Pele from Marseille. So they're both here tonight in this game. As Chibala plays out to his right back, Soko. He's going to leave it for Chomba. Now Makinka tries to pick up the pace of the game. Lovely run by Makinka. Can't quite thread it through to Kalusha as he was looking to do. Nonetheless, the corner kick is Zambia's. Of course, the ball had come off Manzo. And that will be a block and an obstruction and a free kick, which Kalusha wants to take. So a real chance here for Zambia then. Still 0-0 as the ball is flighted into the penalty area, and a clear header as well for Chomba. Ironic that the sweeper really has created the 3 best chances probably. He timed one run superbly to get through the middle. He then had a shot which was knocked off the line, and there again he was the one getting in. Samuel Chomba. Now he's had to go back to do his defending duties as a handball is awarded against Kalusha by this referee from Morocco, who has on his line tonight Mr. Sene from Senegal and Mr. Kouassi from Togo. And, a corner claimed and a corner given for Ghana, won by Yeboah. Anthony Yeboah, who's got 9 goals in 19 starts for Eintracht Frankfurt so far this season, way up among the top goal scorers in the Bundesliga. Corner short. What can Pele do with it? Oh, he swung a lovely ball in, and here is the chance now, but this time Chabala does get to grips with the situation, and the free kick awarded in any event against the in-rushing Bafo. There was Bafo's header, so the free kick was actually awarded against Lampton. 0-0, but Zambia having got that victory over Egypt, courtesy of Kalusha's goal on Monday night, know that a draw will be good enough really for them to go through. The final game in this group takes place on Friday evening when it's Ghana against Egypt. Another awkward clearance will give Zambia a corner kick here. The man in there hustling for it was Makwaze. Ball coming off the head of Bafo. He's the one with the pigtail. The corner kick will be taken by Kalusha. Slips rather as he takes it, and that might have affected him. He never got it past the first line of defence. Little hunched figure, Kalusha, that really caused a stir in those Seoul Olympics with that hat-trick against an Italian side, which had got some big names in it. Meanwhile, the German coach, Otto Pfister, just contemplates what's happening on this occasion. And there's the back header, which is over the top, and no danger at all from Makwaze. Otto Pfister has certainly been around the African countries in his coaching career. He's coached in many countries. Burkina Faso was one of them, Ivory Coast another, Zaire and Senegal. And now the break might just be on for Yeboah, who's still here. Yeboah's done really well, and the save is made by Chabala on the near post, with Pele in the middle waiting, and Yeboah couldn't take advantage there of not the best bit of defending we've seen. But again, to stress that both sides seem to like to play at a certain tempo whereby they build slowly through the middle and then just look for the quick dart to get round the back of the opposition defence. It's Zambia on the ball now. They're two very evenly matched sides, these. They come here with high hopes. Ball turned left. Chipped forward now to Kalusha. He's going round in circles, but has got nowhere really there against good piece of defending by Stephen Frimpong Manso. Yeah, that really is his name. Certainly Zambia will be looking to Kalusha. He's the one they look to for the goal scoring opportunities, although Ambassador has been included tonight with a view to pepping that up. A cross now from Mwitma, and in yards offside. If there is any interference on your picture, we do apologise for it. These pictures coming live from Senegal, from Ziguinchor. Good piece of sweeping there by Bafo. who's featured prominently in this game, and there is opposite number 2, Sitoe, is the man who gets his head under it and sends it high into the sky. That again is the problem of this unpredictable pitch. The bounce is really causing a lot of problems. Pele looks to pose problems now as he gets the ball towards the edge of the penalty area, and once more Tchibala comes in a real old melee of bodies there, with Lamptey trying to get in. Tchibala making the stop. And, good action shot there of the danger that Tchibala encountered. Well, he's used to playing in front of some pretty big crowds in Argentina, of course. Crowd of about 8,000 here in Ziguinchor this evening, as Zambia again cleared their lines with Timothy Mwitma, one of the local men in the side, although he has played some football in Czechoslovakia, apparently. Rather strange choice for a Zambian footballer. Nonetheless, with half an hour gone here, the important fact is it's Zambia 0, Ghana 0. If it stayed that way, it would mean that Zambia would have 3 points, and they would be very happy indeed, with Egypt only able to take 2, providing they beat Ghana on Friday night. Egypt have lost the 1 game already. The ball running away, really, so Ghana tried to come through the middle with Pele, nicely turned back by Yakini. The middle it goes, and unfortunately there's a linesman's flag. It is the linesman from Senegal, and Mbasila goes offside. Gibi Mbasila brought into the side. They think rather highly of him in Zambia. Footballer of the year, in fact, in that country in 1990. Hasn't had much chance to show his paces in this match so far. Ibrahim it was there who lost out. Then the pass from Makinka intercepted. The player down in your picture is Frimpong Manso. One of those who has been brought into the side. Hasn't had many opportunities in international football. He's certainly getting one here tonight. Not a bad ball this time, and the lob into the middle. Lamptey's header can't keep it down, and the first genuine opening for Lamptey. Remember, he's only 18 years of age. Now Lamptey really came to the fore when Ghana won the World Youth Cup under-17s, and has had a marvellous season with Anderlecht. And he was who got that header in. He got above goalkeeper Tchibala, just couldn't keep it down. So we've gone into the last quarter of the first half, with the sides level at 0-0. That was Ankara, number 5 in your picture, and he it is who gets a boot in there. And this gives them a chance to come again now. With Pele, loves to ride the challenges, but he can't ride that one. And his ankle whipped away from him. And the Moroccan referee, who hasn't had to produce a yellow card as yet in this match, was quickly on the spot, awarding the free kick against Chomba. There is number 4, Chomba, scything his man Pele down. This produces a free kick. Now it's the sort of distance that they can hammer one in from, but they chose instead to play the lofted ball in. It's well read in defence. That's a rather high boot from Makinka. Nonetheless, the referee said play on. Pele gets the header in. Tchibala's on his line. And still they can't find a way past David Elford Tchibala. This goalkeeper who conceded just 4 goals in 5 qualifying matches. Ghanaian goalkeeper Edward Ansah did even better. He played in all 8 qualifying matches and they conceded a mere 2 goals. Manzo. Easily dealt with. We haven't really seen as much of Yeboah in particular, number 9 of Ghana, or Lamptey, as we would have liked. Pelé has been much to the fore, but without really being able to crown all his efforts. His club side Marseille did reach the European Cup final, and they were disappointed to lose out on penalties to Red Star Belgrade last season, of course. Pelé's team Marseille. Here goes Mwitma. Excellent piece of defending once from this highly impressive sweeper, Bafo. And I think now the referee is going to bring the yellow card out. And the person who has shown it is Darko Ankara. No complaints from him. It wasn't altogether clear why the referee had spotted something he didn't like, but Darko Ankara becomes the first man in this game to be booked. And as a result, Zambia have a corner. They haven't been able to get Kalusha into the match as they would have liked, and again that's rather disappointing down that touchline, with Timothy Mwitma really running straight into the defender. The best chances they've had have all fallen to the sweeper Chomba. There's going to be no danger there either. And so making a bit of a meal of it. Been a very, very hot day in Senegal. A piece of footwork from Ansar. One of these days he'll flick it past himself into his own net. Kept in play, and once more Chomba's there. Zambia looked to break quickly with Makinka, trying to thread it through. Ooh, it nearly got through as well. And a handball. Now that's a moot point really, because the ball was handled by Amar, and he could have even been booked for that. He stumbled, put his hand on the ball, and I have seen players booked for doing that this season. But Emmanuel Amar, who plays for the Hearts of Oak Club, got away with it. Zambia's free kick. Chomba looks as though he wants to have an almighty wallop at this one. And there's a very good shot for you from behind the net. One player over it, the second, and the goalkeeper Ansar with another slight fumble. As Kalusha took the shot in the end, but it didn't really have enough power on it to beat goalkeeper Ansar. But again, he made it look more difficult than it probably was. Inside the last 10 minutes of the half, as Chibala dashes out, catches the ball, sprints about another 5 yards, and starts off the next Zambian attack, which is quickly nipped in the bud. No whistle that time. Right for Ghana. The Black Stars showing occasionally in attack that they've got the credentials to go a long way in this competition. But here again, as we saw that free kick from Kalusha, the goalkeeper has hardly been impressive tonight. Away comes Watayakini. Once more they're looking to get Kalusha through down the left side, but much too long. Disappointing final ball once more. Zambia, for all their efforts, haven't really looked menacing, but one has to bear in mind the heat and the fact that these players like to play the game slowly and then have the quick dart, not unnaturally in these conditions. Zambia 0, Ghana 0. Zambia, remember, with a win under their belts already against Egypt. Ghana making their first appearance in the 1992 competition. Interestingly enough, when they've won the final on 4 occasions, none of the teams they beat in those finals have even qualified this time. It says something about the quality of football in Africa. Sudan, Tunisia, Uganda and Libya all failing to qualify, and all previous finalists. Again, Ansar able to come from his line to gather, as the ball just ricocheted to him. This time he bowls out, but rather disappointingly, that wasn't really red. by Manso, and he's allowed it to go out of play. And Otto Fister can't be entirely happy about the way things are going, although it's still anybody's game. Now it's Makwazi. Generally, they've had enough men around to cover if Ghana, and they've had to do. There was no way through that time for Basila. They do have a throw-in which will be taken by Soko. He's found his man in there. What a Yakini. Badi Pele, who will be expected to lift the morale of his side. He's certainly one of the most skillful players in the entire tournament. That's a good throw and a lovely flick back as well. Then the long leg of Bafo got the ball away. It's going to come back towards the Ghanaian goal, however, with 5 minutes of the half left. And good build-up down the left-hand side this time, and then it just sort of bobbled away. Ran away from Makwaza. So the trying to be taken on that far side by Changwe. Whites and Changwe, who played all 5 matches in Algeria 2 years ago, and coming up here might just get the shot in. Soko, but the whistle again sounding, and the Moroccan referee awarding the free kick for Ghana. And at 0-0, it's impossible to predict which way this game will go. Neither goalkeeper has been really troubled in the game as yet. And so upfield it goes, and here's Lamptey. It's beaten away. They know all about Nai Lamptey. That's a nice little chip forward into some space for Basila. Covering defender that time was Armar, who handled a few moments ago. Manuel Armar from the hearts of Oak Club. He scored actually in the victory over Benin in Accra. They beat them by 4-0. And here's the long throw in into the penalty area, and Basila cleared off his toe end by Armar. Then Zambia come off rather the better of the two teams. Kalusha's still in there, so here is Chomba, and Chomba hooking the ball back, and it's come back to Chomba a second time, and he rolls it well, but Timothy Mwitma just couldn't get in, but the referee has awarded the free kick here. A handball, he suggests, against Frimpong Manso. This is a good position indeed for Zambia. You see Mwitma. The referee saw a handball. There's no way Pele is 5 yards, let alone 10 away from the ball. Good opportunity then for Zambia in the last moments of the first half. Goalkeeper on his line. Can they find a way through? They can, but wide of the left upright of Edward Ansah. So again, Kalusha disappointed. He's got their only goal in the tournament so far, unable to add to it on this occasion. Well, Kalusha's been around some years now, and he's scored his quota of goals. But the former African Footballer of the Year disappointed not to beat goalkeeper Edward Ansah. He did beat him, but he put it wide. Well, let's see how wide it was. A left-footed shot from Kalusha, and it went a couple of feet wide. And here it is this time. First player running over the ball, as happens so often. The wall didn't break at that point, nor did it ever break really, and he was a bit unlucky, didn't miss by much. Soko. Makinka. Nice little big, and here's Kalusha once more. Couldn't get the shot in. Kalusha once again tussling for it, and just ran out of space really. A load of bodies there, and the ball safely headed back by Watayakane. Now Soko. It's a lively ending to the half. played in phases. Both sides have enjoyed their share of attacking moments in this game. Sitoe will do well to get a cross in here, and the defender Amar making sure the ball ran dead. And with 30 seconds of the half remaining, it looks like staying at Ghana 0, Zambia 0. And the fans want a goal or two. Well, who knows, they might see them in the second half, but in this first half it's almost certain now it's going to end at 0-0. Very little time to be added on for stoppages. Well, that wasn't a particularly good clearance. Zambia could do nothing with it. And all eyes will now be on referee Nasiri for that half-time whistle, as the throw-in is taken for Ghana by Appiah. Here now is Pele. He'll try to get on the outside of the defender Soko, but he was there doing his job. Mbasala. Good turn by Mbasala. Got lovely language skills. Makinka was robbed. And that sounds like a long blast on the whistle. So here in Ziguinchor, it's been a frustrating half in some respects. Both sides have had their moments on attack, but have been unable to find a way through. Kalusha twice has been just off the mark for Zambia, and for Ghana, Lamptey had the best chance, and that went over the top of the crossbar. But half-time is Ghana 0, Zambia 0. We'll have the whole of the second half after this break. Zambia 0, Ghana 0 in this Group D game. Egypt, the third nation involved, and Ghana in the yellow shirts and black shorts get us underway in the second half. But it's 0-0. And really, there were few chances in the first half. Again, much of that attributable to the state of the pitch. The ball bobbling around horribly at times. Something David Pleat commented on the other day. Chance straight away for Ghana at the start of this second half. The ball hooked back, and the shot hooked yards wide. I think that might not even go out of play. It did in the end, it just trickled over, but quite horrid attempt on goal. So the Zambians still unscathed in this entire tournament. They've played 135 minutes now without conceding a goal. So coach Sam Zoom Endlov will be very pleased with his defence. Might not be too pleased with that clear out by Chabala, taking the ball straight out of play. So as far as I can see, there have been no substitutions during the half-time break. Zambia did put a couple of substitutes on in their game against Egypt. Gibi Mbasala, who started this match, came on then, and here goes Lamptey. He might just hook this one back. He does manage to pull it back, but the clearance is good, and Timothy Mwitma plays it further downfield. Ghana coming back. They have some very highly skillful, good technical players. They haven't been able to get on the end of anything as yet. The man on the ball now is Ankara. As the goalkeeper came from his line, Yakini cleared. With Yeboah trying to hustle him really, but this German-based player, Anthony Yeboah from Eintracht Frankfurt, is the one they're looking to for goals really. That was more of a goal scorer than Pele, for example, and this is a safe and easy catch for Edward Ansah. I think we can expect the pattern to be much the same as it was in the first half, unless one of the teams scores early on. That could make a big difference. A hefty boot up the middle. He was looking for Mbasala, and a long back pass. Oh, and then off the chest. Well, that could have been embarrassing again if it had flown off Ansar's chest further than it did. There is the constant drumbeat, which the Hearts of Oak supporters drum up. They're the particularly vocal Ghana supporters, ones from the club Hearts of Oak. Their side will never be beat, but they'll never go down. A substitution now. It will be Ghana who will take off Gargo. Mohamed Gargo replaced by Samuel Apoku. So the first change in the entire game. Poku on. There are two Opokus on the bench. This is Samuel. So number 6 Opoku on. And an interesting substitution in that it was made so soon into the second half. We've been playing no more than 2 or 3 minutes. And the Ghanaian coach, Otto Pfister, deciding that he needed a change. Ball might just fall here for Kalusha, who's in there tussling for it. He scored a very odd goal against Egypt. Not one of those delectable you've ever seen, but they all count the same, as people in football keep telling us. Ghana were actually the first team to qualify for these finals. And they've been really looking forward to competing for the first time in 8 years. Zambians a very good pedigree. They reached the final the very first time they competed in 1974, and they've been in the semi-finals 3 times. That's well broken up. And the ball through the middle, an inviting one. Off his line quickly, Chabala though, to meet Ibrahim's ball. Zambia's turn to counter-attack. That's Basila. And there is Sam Indlov, the coach of Zambia, whose heart is set on winning this particular tournament. Nothing less will do. He was actually sacked at one stage last year after the defeat by Swaziland, and then reinstated. Ghana coming down the right touchline with Ankara. Then it's Yeboah. Might lose out here, and there was no foul on him, so away goes Makinka. Derby Makinka. Don't know whether he was born in the city of Derby or on Derby Day. His parents obviously enjoyed the day. Derby Makinka is in this game. So the ball rolled back here by Molenga to Chabala. Pele. That's a lovely bit of work by Bedi Pele. And he's looking for a good cross in for this time from Ibrahim. If he can get past Soko, Ibrahim laying it back, and they've just about retained possession, but not cleanly. It breaks instead to Ankara. And the swerving ball from him is going to be too long, too high. Wide over the top of Chabala's goal. And Naidakuk Ankara unable to do anything on Ghana's behalf then. Zambia, of course, did produce 2 footballers who came to play in England a few years ago for Aston Villa. I'm sure some supporters in the Midlands will remember Freddie Mwila and Emmett Kapengui. One Aston Villa supporter who still speaks reverently of them. And then he speaks reverently of all Aston Villa players. Here, oh, that's a nice little back heel from Makinka, and Makinka again. Makinka shot, and it could just have crept in the near post. It's a despairing dive by Ansar, and the ball has gone wide. I think it was a very ambitious effort. Well worth the try. There haven't been many shots in the game. You see just what a balmy evening it is in Ziguinchor. How that ball bounced then to Kalusha. Even to his astonishment, I fancy. Timothy Mwitman, number 7 there, from the Catway Warriors side. On the ball now. Rolls it to Changwe. Getting bodies around again, but it's a difficult ball to clear. And then hoisted by Samuel Chomba. Down the line. That's neat. That's good play. And also good defending credit Ghana there with getting people in the way. Got the foot in. Mawitma breaks it all up. Ghana attempt to come again down the right with Ibrahim and with Lamptey. Now this is Ankara. You can't really see where a chance is going to come from in this match. David Pleat was commenting on Monday during the Egyptian game against Zambia that really the long high ball was favourite in matches like this because they do tend to produce mistakes. And there haven't been many mistakes in this game. That's a neat little bit of work, however, involving Lamptey. Once more Zambia getting bodies around, and again we apologise for any interference to your pictures, which are coming direct from Senegal and from the city of Ziguinchor, down on the south coast. It's known as the Garden of Senegal, Ziguinchor. They are so confident on the ball. It's a shame they're not playing on a better surface, it really is. Lamptey has played off some good surfaces in his time with Anderlecht. Now Pelé and Lamptey between them. They looked dangerous then, looked as though they meant business. But it's still 0-0 in this game. Zambia giving as good as they're getting, and they'll break again here now. He took his time, Chomba, before he chose the ball, which he plays wide now for Makwazi. They've got to guard against offside here. Ghana will be looking to get them into such a position. And there you have it, you see. They knew exactly when to break forward. And the Zambians caught out yet again. Gibi Mabasala, the offender. Not really been the fluent match that we would have hoped for, but again, I know we keep stressing this point, the pitch has certainly played its part in that. It has ruined a lot of the good movement, and now it's produced a free kick in a good position for Zambia. Yet again, it was that ball bouncing around there which posed a problem to the Ghanaian defenders. That's where the free kick came, with a jump on the back. There's goalkeeper Ansar, tries to organise things. Now in the first half we saw Kalusha put 2 shots wide of the post. This time they tried a different tact, and even that didn't come off. Turned back. It's Pelé doing the defending this time, and he takes it away from Kalusha as well, and that's the second successive free kick against the Ghanaian substitute Apoku. Ansar looking for the bowl out, and in the end he gets it at least halfway inside the Zambian half, and then it's hooked forward by Dabi Makinka, who's here again. Much involved, but he can't find Mawitma. And the clearance good from Amar. Amar's one of those who's looked extremely solid and dependable in this match. Little emotion shown on the bench. Difficult to say who would be favourites in this match, but it's certainly Ghana inside the penalty area. Pelé, Lamptey, the ball taken away from his toe end by Chomba. And when they've had to do, Zambia have got the defenders there that's got them out of trouble. Mawitma, down the line goes Kalusha, and sticking to his job at Amar, who is one of those who has covered Kalusha every time in this game. Very good match, Emmanuel Amar. And Mawitma's being forced back and back, but now he is making some headway down the left. And it might have got the cross in first time, and the referee blows the whistle against Timothy Mawitma. Awards the free kick against Mawitma, the Kabwe Warriors player. That's an important challenge, one on Lamptey. This tall, gangly man, Changwe, plays it infield. Darby McKinka has literally gone round in 180 degrees there. He's still on the ball. He still finds his man again. Changwe's ball cut out. Now it's Yeboah. Doesn't really get the better of Soko though. Worrying times for the German coach of the Ghanaian side. They do seem to go in for German coaches. He can hardly bear to watch at times. Still 0-0 and little evidence of either side getting a breakthrough as Ankara found an opponent, but they managed to keep the momentum going this time until a rather sloppy ball is met by the onrushing Chabala. So here in Ziguinchor, they're not seeing many goals at the moment. 1-0 it was when Zambia played Egypt, and 0-0 it is here at the moment. Still time for all that to change, as the Moroccan referee, Mr. Nassiri, awards this latest free kick to Zambia. And as I said in the first half, if they can get a point out of this one, they'll know that they are through to the next stages. 2 teams from each of the qualifying groups goes through to the quarter-finals, and then it becomes a knockout contest headed away by Armagh. This time they have found Pele. Ghana attempted to go through the middle this time with Lamptey. There's movement on his left-hand side. As Appiah joins in. Covering defender again there is Soko. In fact, the 2 number 2s in this match have both been highly impressive. John Soko there, who plays for Power Dynamos, and his opposite number, Anthony Bafo, both excellent markers. Pele's shot straight into the legs of the defender. Ghana enjoying a good spell. This is Bafo. He lobs it back into space, and it was good space occupied here, and it's going to go right across the face of the Zambian goal. Pele unable to put it quite where he wanted, but the feeling is that Ghana may be just getting on top a little bit. The ball to Pele from Bafo was excellent, but they weren't able to profit. Safety first measures adopted by Whites and Changwe, one of the survivors from Algeria 2 years ago. And again, this man Bafo saw what was coming, read the situation perfectly, got into a good position, won the ball. Throw for Ghana, taken to Pele, takes it on the head. Pele, of course, has benefited so much from playing with Marseille in a very, very good side, reaching the European Cup final last season. Here goes Yeboah. Ibrahim running the ball out. Ibrahim, one of the top goal scorers in the qualifying matches. He's got a couple in the Bundesliga for his club in Bochum this season, and that's the glamour here on show in Ziguinchor. So Senegal 92 hasn't perhaps yet quite come to light. We've not had a great game. Nigeria have certainly played well in winning their 2 matches, and here now Ghana looking for the first goal, which you feel might be so important in this match. Hooked across by Lamptey. Kalusha broke. He managed to find the centre forward Mbasala. He was taking them on, just couldn't find Kalusha with the return ball. It's going to come wide here, and 2 wide for Mwitma. Well, that first goal might be the making of this match. It is really needed at the moment. Both sides defending comfortably. Tchabala coming from his goal, throwing out to Soko. Playing as a conventional right back, John Soko. Poor ball from him this time. So it's Ghana's turn. They literally are just taking it in turns to attack in the heat here in Ziguinchor, as they do now, and Tchabala shows his heading abilities. Only finds Pele. Well, I know one Pele who might have had an audacious chip from there. Here's Pele! Oh, what a goal! Abedi Pele scores for Ghana, and that all came about after the headed clearance from the Zambian goalkeeper Tchabala. He is disconsolate. He thought he'd done his job when he headed the ball out, but Pele from 40 yards out suddenly decided to take them all on, and he gets in because of the slip in defence by Molenga, gets around the defender and fairly cracks it in past Tchabala. And the man from Marseille has really opened the doors in this game. He'd started it all off there. He carried on running, took it on as the ball was nicked through the legs of Molenga, and away went Pele to score an absolute snorter. So, Zambia 0, Ghana 1, exactly what the game needed. Oh, it could be a mistake here to let in the equaliser. Cleared off the line, and Kalusha can't believe his fortune. He should have equalised within a minute for Zambia. Terrible mistake in defence, and a bit of calming down has got to go on now. Well, what a mistake that is by Kalusha, really. He should have scored, even from the angle. And now the punch isn't too clever either from Ansar. Here was the chance that he'd got, Kalusha. Credit the defender, mind you, Amar, who has had a fine game for Ghana. He got back. But the really big news here in Ziguinchor is that Abedi Pele has given Ghana a very precious lead. The Black Stars are in front, and it really opens up the group and will give Egypt some heart as well. If Ghana win this one, of course, they join Zambia on the 2-point mark, and then Egypt would have a chance of going through at the expense of one of those two nations when they meet Ghana on Friday evening. In the final game in this group. But it was a cracking goal from Pele. One worthy of winning a game. And he would have been rather distraught had Zambia got that equaliser straight away. Well, we'll see if that lifts Ghana now, or whether they shut up shop. For the moment, Ankara is satisfied to put the ball out of play. This is Changwe. Out to the tall figure of Soko. Zambia still hunting the equaliser. They've a lot of people around here. The centre forward, Mbasala. Shot coming in, a couple of yards wide of the right-hand upright, guarded by Ansar. Zambia themselves now, of course, have simply got to throw things into this match. They'd be happy enough with a draw, they will not be happy with a defeat. And the KK11 are a goal down. Another poor clearance, which Pele tries to make something of. Couldn't take advantage, and this tackle here on Mokwazi by Apia is a bad one. Free kick for Zambia. A goal to 0 down. They're the ones who are smiling at the moment. Ghana are in front, thanks to the man from Marseille, Abedi Pele. There he is now, he's showing all the tricks at the moment. Well, that really has lifted them. Pelly so much wants to be the star of this entire championship. He's going the right way about it. Ghana a goal in front. It was a very awkward bit of defending by Molenga, which let him in. But all credit to Pelé, because he really had shown the determination to get into that position from the very moment that Tchabala had cleared his lines with a header. And Zambia are going to ask Pearson Mwanzi to get them back into the game. He is number 14, the substitute, who is about to be introduced by the look of it. And we'll see who comes off. Whether it's a straight swap of striker for striker, whether they'll try to shore up midfield. Another on is from Yeboah, who's had a quiet game really. That's a lovely touch. Down the line it goes as well. A run made by Ibrahim. And Makinka can't clear. They have the chance to come once more as Pelé turns it left. Lamptey dispossessed. And the quality of passing from Zambia hasn't quite been good enough tonight. And again it's this man Pelé, he really is turning it on now. Well, he possesses the greatest name in football and he's trying to give us his own show. Here's Lamptey. Might try and get a shot in himself and show us what he can do. Oh, lovely skill by Nai Lamptey. And the defender this time is Molenga, who's able to take it away from Lamptey's foot. But there we just got a glimpse of the potential of this 18-year-old. And the player will be Mwitma, in fact, who'll be replaced by Pearson Mwanzi. Zambia's first substitution, and Timothy Mwitma is off, and Pearson Mwanza gets his chance. So we've now got a Mwanza, a Makwazi and a Makinka on all together. The original commentator's nightmare. Zambia won't care who scores goals so long as somebody gets just one. They try through the middle. Well cut out. Oh, that's nicely done. Again, it's Pelé. He really has come into his own in this last quarter of an hour. It's become almost a one-man show from him. Sensing that he's on centre stage and wants to use it. And he's out here yet again, Pelé. The little curved ball in, greeted this time by Tchabala's palms. And Ghana are looking comfortable at 1-0. It's the perfect start, just what they wanted. They've now got to reproduce it against Egypt on Friday night as they try to build on this one-goal advantage with Lamptey. You can see the confidence really flooding through the veins now as the shot is lined up, and it could be a second. No more than a foot wide. And a rather rueful smile by Ali Ibrahim. He knows how close he came, and he had a big target. He just possibly allowed it to run a fraction too far. And while he beat Tchabala, he couldn't find the net. And it remains 1-0 to Ghana. But they've looked decidedly the better half in the second half. The better side in this second half. And a very good goal it was that separates the two sides. Referee saw that as handball. Ghana rather happy to waste up some precious time as Ansar does his little tricks for us again. Not perhaps in the same league as Rennie Higuita of Colombia when it comes to histrionics, but nonetheless he's obviously an entertainer. Oh, it's an excellent tackle. What a well-won ball that is by Ibrahim. Zambia need to get back into this game rather sharply if they're to get anything out of it at all. Here comes Makinka driving them forward inside the Ghanaian half. Still Makinka. The ball might just bobble away from him, but it's nicely teed up. Still here, they've got bodies around. Kalusha on the ball. Now it's Chomba lending his weight to this attack, and the curling cross has gone too far. Samuel Chomba getting into some good advanced situations. I want to know how long there is to go in the game. The question is it going to be long enough for Zambia? On the ball now, Ibrahim. A nice little chip over the top, an encouraging one. It might just open them up once more. Yeboah was going for it. Here is Yeboah again. Onside. Pele's in the middle. Lamptey's in the middle. Comes through for Pele. The overhead kick. And that was almost a sensational follow-up to his first goal by Pele. Lovely overhead kick from Abidi Pele. And they do love a bicycle kick. Well, here we see it, and, well, there you are. He gave it 5, but he'd missed the mark. They still thought it was worth celebrating. What would they have done if it got in the net? But unquestionably, this has been the Pele show in the second half. He's scored the goal, which separates the teams. He's had a couple of other very good efforts, 1 or 2 good dribbles, and has generally featured so prominently. He's run the show. And he'll be looking for more here. Quarter of an hour left in the game. Ghana leading by 1-0 and living up to expectations. Yes, he's rather happier. That's the German coach, Otto Pfister. Our expectation level very high after what their under-17 team achieved in Italy last year. Because Ghanaian football has been somewhat in the doldrums. Not at this very moment. Look at that ball bobbling around again. And Ansar goes to his party piece before clearing upfield. It's a long, long kick from him. Actually, Yeboah couldn't get underneath. Chomba did, and he gets a free kick too. Ghana 1, Zambia 0. Abidi Pele, the scorer of the 1 goal in the game. A rather more spectacular goal, however, than the one scored by Zambia against Egypt by Kalusha. The only other one in this group so far. And remember, on Friday night, here on Screen Sport, you'll be able to see the whole of Ghana versus Egypt, to see who wins the right to go through to the quarter-final stages. Pele, again he's hustling for it. Chomba's rather taller than he is, but it's been won back by Ibrahim, who's worked very hard in this second half. Not always had the luck he's deserved to go with it, but a free kick's going to be awarded here for Ibrahim. And if Ghana got a second goal, you feel that that would destroy Zambia. And Ali Ibrahim takes his place in the penalty area. Waiting for bodies to arrive before the free kick is taken. Rather long. They do have men up there, but it's a rather disappointing free kick. The ball not even directed back into the penalty area or to the danger zone. And that was one free kick that Pele would not be proud of, particularly. Molenga is on the ball. It's a rather hopeful punt, however. And Ghana have met everything in central defence, really. Ankara and Amar in particular have had outstanding matches at the back. And Bafo too, as the sweeper, has done a very good job. Ghana leading by 1-0. And this, of course, Zambia's last opportunity their second match, whereas Ghana have one more after this game against Egypt. They meet the Pharaohs on Friday. It's been a relatively quiet half for Edward Ansah. Clearance by Soko. For the moment, there's nothing much for them to smile about, those Zambian substitutes, as Bafo takes the ball away from Makwaze. Both sides have brought one substitute apiece on. Samuel Opoku coming on in place of Gago on the Ghana side, and Mwitma being replaced by Mwanza for Zambia. Zambia still looking for something inside the penalty area, with Mbasila winning a corner. This could be Zambia's opportunity. Sam Ndlov will be looking for his team to at least get back level in this match, and that would lift their spirits so much. Otherwise, they're just going to have to sit and wait and hope on Friday if they're beaten in this one. The punch up in the air is from Ansah, who still doesn't look altogether convincing. The second corner indicated by Mr. Nasiri, the Moroccan referee, who's had a very easy game to referee, just the one booking, and that was Darko Ankara in the first half. Zambia's second corner, Kalusha with it, and not very good either, although it's met at the back post. Still a chance here, and the header wide was from number 14, I think it was, who got in, who would be Mwanza. Makwaze shown in on your screen there, and there it was. Never much danger of that going in the intended place, and it remains 1-0 to Ghana with 10 minutes left. So still few goals here for the fans in Ziguinchor. Here is the substitute, Mwanza. Too long again. Very good athlete Apia is across, covering, clearing. It comes straight back at him, however, and Mbasila, the cross much too close to goalkeeper Ansah. He wastes up a little bit more time before belting the ball long down the middle. He has got a very good clearance. Lamptey's been largely ineffective in this game. Not seen much of him at all, which is disappointing for the crowd here. They were expecting a lot. Now we're seeing a bit of Mbasila wanting to take on the defence and getting round them well. Superb bit of work by Mbasila, and he's got it back again and can show us some more of his paces and his skills. Which way is he going to go? Well, he isn't going to get past anybody like that. And Mbasila did well the first time, not so well the second. And you can see in the bottom of your picture the number 12 being hoisted, and that means another change, and I think Makwaze is going to go off. He is, and he will be replaced by Zambia's second substitute, Mabin Mugaiwa. So Linus Makwaze goes off, Mabin Mugaiwa is on. His first appearance in these African Nations Championships. A lot of shouting going on, as you can probably pick up from our effects microphones in the stadium. But it's the Ghanaians who will be shouting if they win this one, and they will probably celebrate all night long, especially the Hearts of Oak supporters. And Pele there has certainly been the man of the half. Free kick given for the handball against Soko and for the nudge at the same time, and he wasn't too impressed by what Lamptey was doing to him. But again, I think it was induced by the bounce of the ball as much as anything. Frustration. Up into the penalty area it goes. Pele can't get across to it. Zambia's still looking to clear. then he might have been better hooking that ball over the top. The break is on here for the substitute Magaiwa. Only one man in the middle, and that's the other substitute, Mwanza. And Zambia still unable to find a way through. A rather sliced clearance. It comes to Makinka. He can do nothing with it. Well, they're retaining possession neatly, but nothing coming of it, and eventually when it does break down, that gives Ghana the chance to break and to come forward again slowly, allowing Zambia time to get back before the ball is hoisted by Ankara for Lamptey to try and get in, and he's just kept it in play, but Watayakini able to turn it back to his keeper Chibala. Long. Zambia really need something very special now if they're to rescue a point from this game. But everything will rest otherwise on Friday night's match between Ghana and Egypt. Both matches 1-0. 1-0 it was to Zambia against Egypt, and it's 1-0 here to Ghana against Zambia with just 5 minutes to go. Zambia don't really look to have the know-how to break down the Ghana defence, and I would think that Otto Fista is reasonably happy, though he's showing very little emotion. So back in Accra, the capital of Ghana, they look as though they're going to be celebrating. 15 million people in that country, having very high hopes indeed for their nation in this African Nations Cup. The 18th in all. And don't forget, Ghana have won it 4 times. That's more than any other country, one more than Egypt, who they meet on Friday night. Chomba, through the middle it goes. They've got to get men forward quickly. It doesn't matter now about defending. They really got to get a goal. Otherwise, their dream could be over. Sam Endlove has spoken about his dream of Zambia winning the African Nations Cup. But with time ebbing away at the moment, they trail by 1-0. The ball lifted into the penalty area. There was some danger, and an awkward clearance for Ankara to achieve. He did so. The sapping conditions have perhaps affected the Zambians, and Ghana, with that little purple patch that they had round about the time Pelé scored, they just got on top and probably deserved to edge this one, and they do lead by 1-0, but they're defending now, and here goes the substitute Magaiwa. Corner kick, and a chance given to them, some hope given to them by Ankara's clearance. And it's left to Kalusha to take this corner then for Zambia. Can they find a way through in the closing moments here against Ghana, who lead by 1-0 and clear? Oh, that's lovely play again by Pelé, and away he goes. There's a man wide on his left, but Pelé, look at this, he's full of it now. He says, look what I can do. I've scored a goal and I'm going to show you the whole repertoire. Lovely play by Pelé. Lamptey bowled over, and that must be a free kick against Samuel Chomba. But really, what was marvellous about that was the way that Pelé did everything really out of the book, out of the textbook. And there was the free kick against Chomba, which I think the referee was entirely justified in awarding. No rush, of course, for Ghana to take it. As you see, some of the fans just beginning to leave the stadium. Lamptey picking himself up, and it looks as though he is going to be on the winning side tonight. His team lead 1-0. They have a free kick, which Zambia deal with this time. The ball breaking for Ibrahim. Now Zambia, one last desperate thrust maybe Here is Mugaiwa. Through it goes to Chomba, and that will be a free kick for Zambia. And this could well be a chance for Zambia. It's no more than a few yards outside the Ghanaian penalty area. And Chomba again has been one of their most adventurous players. And he fell there to Appiah's tackle. And Pele doesn't want to see his glory taken away from him now, which is why he's orchestrating things back there. They might as well, Ghana, throw everybody behind the ball. They would be rather gutted if they were to concede a goal at this late stage. Here's a ploy which did not work out. It was a poorly taken free kick, it really was. Soko must now go by a more direct route. He's onside here, and Watayakini could have been a hero. He slices the shot wide, and he isn't a hero. But Robert Watayakini really then could probably have taken a little bit longer. It fell to the wrong man, really. He's not used to being in that situation. He thumped it a long way wide of Ansar's goal. And the sort of thing that coaches do is make a substitution in the last 30 seconds when you're in, not in trouble, but wanting to slow things down. And so Safo Gayamfi gets on for the closing moments of this game in place of Nailapti. And the ball lobbed forward here. Awkwardly turned back under the challenge by Ibrahim, by Watayakini. He looks restless as the German coach, but I don't think he's going to have to wait long, because that whistle should be going almost any second. No great long injuries, and that's a nice little touch which opens the way for a run for Ghana down this right touchline by the substitute, and that looks like a foul by Makinka. In fact, it's on behalf of Makinka. Substitute Gayamfi giving it away, and Zambia look a beaten side to me. They really do have to transfer the ball quickly upfield, and again it's that man Anthony Baffo who was across to snuff out the danger. Some glum faces there, one or two happy ones, but basically it's only the people of Ghana who are going to be happy tonight. Unless Zambia can produce something really dramatic now in these closing seconds. Baffo again heads it up in the air. They're not worried where they put the ball now. A free kick too for Ghana. And the Moroccan referee, Mr. Nakiri, will surely indicate any second now that Ghana have won this particular tussle and go into their game against Egypt on Friday in a very good position. They'll know exactly what they have to do, whereas so do Egypt, of course, whereas Zambia can do nothing at all about it. This could be their last attack in the entire tournament, I suppose. On the other hand, they could get through at Egypt's expense. And indeed, that is the final whistle here in Ziguinchor. So Ghana have made a successful and triumphant beginning to their Senegal 92 campaign here in Ziguinchor. A superb second half strike by Abidi Pele, the man from Marseille, very much the hero of this performance, has given Ghana a victory over Zambia. It ends Ghana 1, Zambia 0. Very good victory for Ghana.